Desert city of Petra is flooded and thousands of tourists were forced to evacuate. The ancient stone city of Petra has been flooded after heavy rains flushed the archaeological site and forced evacuations. Water from nearby mountains in Jordan flows into the iconic rose red city, which has existed for 2000 years. An estimated 1,700 tourists and local residents have been ordered to leave the area for their safety after similar floods killed 13 people in 2018. Footage of Jordan's main tourist attraction, 150 miles south of Jerusalem, showed a river of water flowing into the Jordan at the entrance to the Petra temples as panicked tourists fled. The Petra Regional Tourism and Development Authority said the government of Jordan has evacuated around 1,700 tourists in Petra due to heavy rains. In neighboring Man, 3 people were injured in flooding after a van was swept away by a torrential current. In 2018, floods rose as high as 13 feet, swept away more than a dozen people, forcing 4,000 people to flee. The last fatal flash flood to hit Petra was in 1963, when 22 French tourists and a local guide were killed by rapidly rising waters. In response, Jordan's Ministry of Antiquities built a dam to prevent water from entering the gorge that leads to Al Qasne, known as the Treasury. In 2014, an alarm system was installed as additional protection, in which a siren sounds when the water level reaches a certain level. Petra is a city carved out of sand dunes with the burial chambers of the Nabateans, a tribe of wealthy merchants whose civilization flourished between 200 BC and 100 AD. It became the Nabatean capital, strategically located on major trade routes and ideal for collecting duties on the caravan transporting frankincense and myrrh. The city dates from around 400 BC, when the Greeks tried to attack it in the first written mention in history. Various structures were carved into the rock by the Nabateans over the following centuries, with the iconic Al Qasne temple built as a mausoleum for the king Aretas IV in the 1st century AD. Although the remains of the UNESCO World Heritage Site seem massive, more than 90% of them are hidden from the view and buried under the desert sand. So far this year, more than 1.5 million tourists have visited Petra. Thanks.